Hello girls, good morning. So today class is plasma membrane. Okay, so already in the previous classes we have discussed about the animal cell and plant cell. Okay, so the outer covering of the cell we called it as plasma membrane, right? So this is the plasma membrane. We are going to discuss about the plasma membrane in detail. Okay, so it is very complicated and we'll discuss in detail. First we'll discuss what is plasma membrane. So this plasma membrane is what? It is an outer covering for the cell, okay, which protects the cell. Here the plasma membrane, it is also called as biomembrane, or it also called as cell membrane. You know na? So this membrane is a part of cell, so that's why we call it as cell membrane. And bio means what? Living. Okay, so it is a living membrane, so we call biomembrane. Okay, so plasma membrane, it is called as biomembrane or cell membrane also. Here plasma membrane, it is made up of proteins. Okay, so it is made up of proteins and phospholipids. Okay, you know the proteins now. So proteins are the building blocks of the body, which are prepared or formed by the binding of amino acids. You know entire process, or otherwise in detail we'll discuss in the next molecular biology classes. Okay, so proteins and phospholipids are nothing but it is a diglyceride fats. Okay, so these that means what molecules are attached and how it is formed. These phospholipids will discuss in the next class. Okay, so however plasma membrane is made up of proteins and phospholipids. Okay, and this plasma membrane is selectively permeable. So I will explain why we call it as selectively permeable. Okay, sorry. So now we are going to discuss about the plasma membrane. Here let's assume this is the this is the membrane, plasma membrane of the cell. Okay, plasma membrane will have a pores. For that we can also call porous membrane. Sorry. Okay, so this is the plasma membrane. Okay, so plasma membrane will have a pores. So due to presence of these pores, we can also call them as porous membrane. Okay, why these pores will present? Through these pores only the plasma membrane. See here, this is the plasma membrane. This is the inside of the cell. This is outside of the cell. Okay, so this is a porous membrane now. So through these pores, whatever the substance present outside of the cell needs important minerals and substances. Now that important minerals and substances will be taken through these pores. Okay, so like this the cell membrane takes the important minerals present outside. Okay, so these are the substances present outside of the membrane. So now these important membranes has to be taken inside of the cell now. So these pores which are present already in the membrane, through these pores only the substance will be taken inside. Okay, so these pores will be taken through the these substances will be taken through the pores. Okay, so these substances taken through the pores only. Okay, but these substances according to the pore size, if the substances getting according to the pore size, then we can give a term that is called semi permeable. Okay, substance move according to pore size. Okay, semi permeable term. When we can use it, the substances move into the cell according to the pore size, then we can give the term semi-permeable. Semi-permeable means what? The substance move according to the pore size. Here, this pore size is this much size. Okay, if the substances are little bit bigger than pore size, what happens? If the pore size is small and the substance size is bigger, little bigger, but this substance is very important for this cell need this substance. So at that time, what the cell will do? It will select these substances to take. Okay, so but it is bigger than the pore size. Now how it will be takes inside? Okay, so here like endocytosis. Endo means what? Inside. Okay, the membrane undergo endocytosis like this. The membrane undergo endocytosis through this. Again, the important substance which is there, which is in bigger size, it will be taken inside through endocytosis because it is very important substance. Okay, here I am saying the small substances are taken through semi-permeable, but here even though it is small substance, but it is not required by the cell, it won't be taken by the cell. Even though the pore is small and it can also move through this pore, but it is not necessary by the cell now, so it won't be taken. If the substance is little big, what happens? The pore size is small and the substance size is bigger. It will take inside, it will take through a process called endocytosis. Okay, so whenever these substances are taken selectively, then we can call them as selectively permeable. Okay, it will permit selectively. Even though it is bigger, it is important to the cell, so that's why it will take through the endocytosis. Even though the pore size is normal and this substance, even though the small substances can cross through the pore, but it is not important, so at that time these substances will not be taken by the cell. Okay, so this is about the plasma membrane, how the substance taken inside and outside. Okay, here you have to remember one thing: selectively permeable only when it is the part of inside of the cell. Okay, selectively permeable, when I am saying when the selective permeable will be take place only when it is a part of the cell, inside of the cell. When it is outside of the cell, it will be acts as semi permeable. Okay, so once again I will explain. The plasma membrane is also called as biomembrane or cell membrane. Okay, so this plasma membrane is made up of proteins and phospholipids, and it acts as selectively permeable because I said no here selectively permeable. Why? Here the plasma membrane have pores. Okay, so the substance outside of the cell which are there will be moved through these pores to inside. Okay, so there are some bigger size substance now, but these are very important to the cell. So how they can cross this membrane? Okay, so the cell which is mostly required this substance will be taken inside through endocytosis. Okay, so now this substance is coming here and move inside, so it will be utilized by the cell. Okay, other small substance which are there, it can simply move through these pores inside. Okay, that is called semi permeable. Okay, the bigger substances are not allowed if they are not required. If they are required, they will be taken through endocytosis. Okay, so this is the process. Then we will discuss the important properties of plasma membrane. Okay, so here PM means plasma membrane. Important properties of plasma membrane. So there are three important properties of plasma membrane. First and foremost thing of the plasma membrane, what is that? Selectively permeable. Just now we discussed, no? Selectively permeable. So the membrane should be selectively permeable. And next, proteins and phospholipid ratio. Will be variable. Variable means different. So here proteins ratio and and phospholipid ratio will be always should be different. Okay, then only that membrane will be acceptable. Then last, dynamic membrane. The membrane should be dynamic membrane. What is dynamic membrane? Here the membrane should have a flexibility. Okay, so the should have a flexibility. Okay, so these three properties are very important. Okay, so whenever the plasma membrane will have these important three properties, then only that plasma membrane is acceptable. Okay, that means the plasma membrane should have these three important properties. So based on these three important properties, in the next class we are going to discuss the models of plasma membrane. Okay, thank you.